few love and hip-hop just hit a new level of messy, your flushed face. One photo, one caption, and now Kirk Frost, Kendra Robinson, Rashida, and young Jock are all caught in the middle of the biggest scandal of the season. Mendeecees didn't just spill the tea, he poured the whole pot. A cheek kiss, a viral post, betrayal, and divorce rumors. This is the kind of drama that doesn't stay on TV. It blows up everywhere. Explosion symbol. It all started with a single post. Mendeecees Harris, who's already no stranger to messy headlines, decided to shake up the entire love and hip-hop universe with just one picture. No long caption, no rant, no interview, just one image that spoke louder than words. In that photo, Kirk Frost, the man who's practically the poster child for cheating scandals on reality TV, was seen with Kendra Robinson, young Jock's wife. In a moment that looked way too intimate to be innocent, Kendra leaned in, her lips pressed against Kirk's cheek, and Kirk had this smug little grin that said everything without saying anything at all. It wasn't a friendly church hug, it wasn't a quick air kiss, it was personal. And then came the caption, "You'll be pointing fingers at me, but look who I caught." That one line was enough to detonate the internet like a bomb. Within minutes, the photo was shared, reposted, and dissected by fans, bloggers, and gossip pages everywhere. Everyone had a theory, everyone had an opinion, and nobody was holding back. Some people zoomed in on the picture, analyzing their body language like forensic experts. Others were already digging through old interviews and episodes, trying to piece together where this could have started. The thing about Kirk Frost is that he doesn't need much to set off a storm. For years, he's been dragging his marriage to Rashida through the mud, wrapped up in rumors, affairs, and that unforgettable scandal involving Jasmine and the secret baby. Every time people think has learned his lesson, another headline proves otherwise. But this time, it's different. This wasn't just some random woman. This was Kendra Robinson, not only a married woman, but the wife of someone Kirk calls a friend. The betrayal didn't just sting Rashida, it hit young Jock, too. Fans immediately started flooding timelines with memes and tweets. Not Kendra and Kirk loudly crying face. One user wrote, "Jock better call Mona Scott right now. This reunion fin to be explosive," said another. The drama had everything: betrayal, public humiliation, friendships on the line, and two marriages hanging by a thread. But let's rewind a bit. Rashida has stood by Kirk through everything, from side flings to public apologies to fake therapy sessions on TV. She has swallowed every scandal with quiet grace. Or at least that's what people saw on camera. Behind the scenes though, fans have long speculated that their relationship has been hanging by a thread. So when she saw that photo of her husband cozying up to Kendra Robinson, she didn't stay silent. She posted her own message online. Betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from the ones you trusted most. No names, no tags, but everyone knew exactly who that was aimed at. And it wasn't just Kirk. It was Kendra too. That caption set the tone for what would be a long night of chaos on social media. Blogs went wild. Twitter ox turned into a war zone. Team Rashida, Team Kendra, Team Jock. Fans picked their sides like it was a reality TV battle royale. Meanwhile, Kendra was nowhere to be found. No posts, no lives, no comments, silence. But her silence only made the internet talk louder. She guilty as hell. One fan tweeted, "You don't go quiet like that unless you got something to hide." Others tried to defend her, pointing out that people don't know the full story yet. But in the court of public opinion, silence can sound like confession. Jock didn't make any immediate statements either, which made things even worse. People were refreshing his page every 5 minutes, waiting for a clapback or at least a cryptic message, but instead it was just crickets. Some people thought he was probably trying to get the full story before reacting. Others thought he might already have known, and that's why he wasn't shocked. But what made this whole thing explode wasn't just the picture. It was the fact that Mendeecees posted it. This wasn't some random fan or blogger looking for clout. This was someone inside their circle. Someone who knew the players personally. His caption, "You'll been pointing fingers at me, but look who I caught," made it clear he was calling out hypocrisy. Too many fans, it looked like payback. Like he was tired of being the one with the messy marriage when everyone else had skeletons of their own. And let's be honest, the timing couldn't have been more perfect. Kendra and Jock had just been trying to rebuild after their own trust issues played out publicly. The flirty DMs, the fights, the tension. Rashida had also been trying to paint a picture of a happy marriage after years of chaos. And then boom, this picture comes out and rips through both relationships like a bomb. People started digging up old clips from the show, pointing out signs they claimed were always there. Some said Kirk and Kendra always seemed a little too friendly, Others swore they saw tension between Rashida and Kendra at last season's reunion. Whether those signs were real or just internet imagination didn't matter. The narrative was already written in the public's mind. By now, gossip blogs were running headlines like Kirk Frost and Kendra Robinson caught in cheating scandal. Rashida's heartbreak goes viral. Jock and Kendra divorce rumors swirl after leaked photo. Everyone wanted answers and nobody was holding back their judgment. This wasn't just love and hip-hop drama anymore. This was real-life fallout playing out in real time for millions to see, as the photo continued to circulate online like wildfire. The story started to spiral way beyond what anyone could have predicted. Fans weren't just talking about it, they were analyzing every inch of that image like detectives on a crime scene. Some zoomed in on the lighting and the positioning, swearing that the way Kirk leaned in wasn't just casual. Others slowed down old clips from past episodes of Love and Hip Hop, claiming they always suspected there was something off between Kirk and Kendra. The internet loves a good scandal, but this was gasoline poured on an already burning fire. What made everything worse was how fast the dominoes started falling. Rashida, who has stood by Kirk through more mess than most could ever tolerate, suddenly went quiet after her cryptic post. She didn't go live, didn't respond to blogs, didn't issue any denial or confirmation, but when she showed up on her Instagram story hours later, she didn't have to say much. Her energy spoke volumes. A single black screen with the words, "I'm tired." That was it. No explanation, no emojis, nothing, just raw emotion. Fans who have watched her stick by Kirk year after year instantly knew that meant trouble. Meanwhile, young Jock, Kendra's husband, was playing his cards close to his chest. He didn't post anything, didn't clap back, didn't even like or unlike any shady comments. But silence from Jock doesn't mean calm. Everyone knew this kind of scandal doesn't just get swept under the rug. In the love and hip-hop world, silence is usually the calm before an explosion. Mendeecees' role in this mess wasn't getting ignored either. People were side-eyeing him heavy because, let's be real, he didn't just stumble across this moment. For him to take a picture like that and post it online, he had to know exactly what kind of chaos he was about to cause. Some fans accused him of being messy on purpose, trying to drag others down to take the heat off himself. He just wants to distract everyone from his own drama, one person commented. Others praised him for exposing the truth and keeping the same energy. Mendeecees ain't never been quiet. If they can talk about him, he can talk about them. Someone tweeted, and honestly, they weren't wrong. But the fallout for Kendra was instant and brutal. People flooded her comment section with every insult in the book. Some called her a snake. Others accused her of being fake from the start. And many reminded her of how loudly she used to talk about loyalty. "Girl, you were just preaching about trust last season." One comment read, "Now look at you." Even people who didn't like Jock were dragging her, saying she made a fool out of herself. Rashida's supporters came out in full force, too. Over the years, she's built a reputation as the wife who stood strong through public humiliation after humiliation. That has always divided fans. Some respect her loyalty, others say she deserves better. But this time, the tone shifted. People weren't just mad at Kirk, they were tired. "Rashida, enough is enough." Someone wrote, "This man been disrespecting you for too long." The tension got even worse when a few sources started popping up online, claiming this wasn't the first time Kendra and Kirk were seen getting a little too close. A few insiders started whispering about late-night studio sessions and industry parties where the energy between them was off. Nothing confirmed, of course, but rumors are like wildfire. Once they start spreading, they are impossible to stop. Fans didn't need proof. They just needed a story that made sense, and this one fit too perfectly. Meanwhile, Jock was spotted by fans. Multiple gossip pages started dropping hints that Jock had already reached out to a lawyer. Some claimed Rashida was finally ready to walk away, too. "She's been embarrassed too many times." One blog said, "This might be the last straw." It wasn't confirmed, but it didn't need to be. In scandals like this, perception spreads faster than fact. By now, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube were drowning in think pieces. People dug up old clips of Jock and Kendra's wedding, Rashida crying on camera, Kirk apologizing at a reunion special. Everyone had something to say. Some sympathized with Rashida and Jock, others just loved the mess. A popular tweet summed it up best. "Kirk Frost is going to cheat until the sun burns out, and somehow Rashida is still going to give him another chance." Loudly crying face. What made things even messier was the fact that Kirk still hadn't said a word. Not a post, not a denial, nothing. And when Kirk goes quiet, that's when the internet starts assuming the worst. Some said he was probably trying to figure out how to spin this. Others said he was probably hoping it would all blow over. But the problem was this time it wasn't just about him. This involved Jock, Kendra, Rashida, and now Mendeecees too. 4 people, 2 marriages, a whole storm of betrayal. But you could feel it in the air. This wasn't going to be swept under the rug like the old scandals. This one was personal. This wasn't some random woman trying to make a name for herself by exposing Kirk. This was someone from within their tight-knit circle. And when betrayal comes from someone close, it cuts deeper. Rashida's caption had already made that clear. At this point, everyone was waiting for one thing: the reunion. Love and hip-hop reunions have a reputation for being explosive. But this time fans were calling for Mona Scott herself to let the cameras roll and not cut a single frame. This reunion better be 3 hours long. One fan tweeted, "I need Jock, Kendra, Kirk, Rashida, and Mendeecees all on one couch." By the end of the day, one thing was certain. The image that Mendeecees posted didn't just cause a scandal, it cracked open every fragile bond in that friend circle and exposed just how messy and complicated their loyalty really was. What started as one post had snowballed into full-blown war. And the worst part, nobody had even responded publicly yet. This was just the beginning. By the next morning, the story wasn't just gossip anymore. It had become a full-blown media circus. Every entertainment blog had the photo of Kirk and Kendra splashed across their front page. Headlines screamed about betrayal, marriage on the rocks, and secret affairs exposed. You couldn't open an app without seeing their faces. The shade rooms were buzzing, TikTok lives were overflowing with messy commentary, and fans were dissecting this scandal like it was a court case. But the real turning point came when Rashida finally broke her silence properly. Gone was the cryptic "I'm tired" story. This time she stepped out looking composed but ice cold. Paparazzi caught her walking into a restaurant in Atlanta rocking all black and oversized shades. Reporters shouted questions at her about Kirk, the photo, and the rumors, but she didn't say a single word. She didn't need to. That walk alone told everybody everything they needed to know. For years, Rashida has played the loyal wife who forgives and stands by her man, but that look in her eyes now, it wasn't the look of a woman about to forgive again. It was the look of someone who'd hit their breaking point. Meanwhile, Kirk Frost was still silent, but the walls were closing in. His silence, the same silence is used to ride out scandals in the past, wasn't working this time. Fans weren't buying the no-comment routine anymore. They wanted answers, and so did Jock. Behind the scenes, whispers started circulating that Jock confronted Kirk directly. According to sources close to the show, there was a heated argument that went down at a private event days after the photo leaked. Kirk allegedly tried to brush it off, calling it a joke, a moment that got blown out of proportion. But Jock wasn't having it. The streets were already talking. His marriage was on the line, and Kirk playing dumb only made it worse. And then there was Kendra. Her silence had stretched on for nearly 48 hours, and that was all it took for fans to turn against her completely. She disabled her comments on Instagram, but it was too late. The internet already decided she was guilty. People were calling her a snake, disloyal, fake friend. And worse, every old clip of her preaching loyalty and respect on the show got reposted with sarcastic captions like, "Girl, what happened to this energy?" But it wasn't just fans talking. Cast members, current and former, started dropping cryptic tweets and shady lives. One former cast member said Yule would be shocked how many of these friendships ain't really what they look like. Another one added, "Everybody's sleeping with everybody and you're still shocked." It wasn't naming names, but nobody needed them to. Everyone knew who they were talking about. Mendeecees, the man who started this firestorm with one post, wasn't backing down either. He went live on Instagram to clear the air. Though, let's be real, he only added more gas to the flame. "I'm not about to be the only one getting called out when everybody got skeletons," he said. "You'll want to act holier than thou. But I got receipts." And that was just one. The comment section exploded. Some fans accused him of being petty and messy, but others praised him for not sugarcoating. Meanwhile, Tamar Braxton, who has been tied to Yandhi and Mendeecees in her own recent drama, liked a few shady posts about cheaters always getting caught. It was subtle, but fans noticed. "Tamar are always going to throw a little sprinkle of shade," one person tweeted. Jock, on the other hand, was reportedly done with the silence. Rumors swirled that he'd packed a bag and left the house temporarily to clear his head. A friend of his allegedly told a gossip outlet that has never felt this betrayed. Jock may be known for his Playboy past, but this situation was different. That's supposed to be his boy. The friend reportedly said, "It's one thing for random girls to flirt, but for Kirk to let that happen, that cut deep." And then came the moment nobody expected. Rashida was spotted meeting with a divorce attorney. Now, nothing was confirmed, but TMZ-style blogs ran with it fast. Photos of her walking into a well-known law office spread across the internet, fueling the fire. Fans who've watched her stay through scandal after scandal started saying, "This might be it for real." On top of that, Kirk and Kendra's marriage wasn't looking any better. Insiders claimed Kendra spent the night at a friend's place after a massive argument. Kirk reportedly confronted her about the photo, and while she denied anything going on, he wasn't convinced. "It don't look innocent," one source quoted him saying, "and I ain't stupid." This wasn't just another reality TV scandal anymore. This was two marriages cracking under the weight of betrayal, one possibly over for good and the other hanging on by a thread. Fans started taking sides hard. Team Rashida flooded her comments with love, calling her a queen, telling her to finally walk away. Team Kirk, though smaller, was furious at Kirk. Even people who didn't particularly like Kirk or Kendra were disgusted by the idea of Kirk doing this to a friend. "Kirk ain't loyal to nobody," one fan tweeted. "Not to Rashida, not to his kids, not to Kirk. That man only loyal to mess." Meanwhile, Kirk was finally cornered. The pressure was too much and bloggers were reporting that producers of the show were pushing him to speak publicly before filming resumed. They didn't want this scandal to get out of control without some kind of statement. But here's the thing, Kirk has always relied on Rashida standing next to him cleaning up the mess he creates. And this time, for the first time in years, she wasn't standing next to him. She wasn't defending him. She wasn't saying, "We'll work through it." She was quiet, cold, distant, and in that silence, the internet saw something they hadn't seen before. A crack that might finally be big enough to break them apart. The gossip wave was reaching its peak. Rumors of divorce papers, producer interventions, reunion confrontations, secret DMs, and new receipts being saved for the right time filled every corner of the internet. Kirk's name was trending for all the wrong reasons, and Kendra's image, once polished and put together, was officially tarnished. By now, the narrative was out of their hands, and whether they liked it or not, every camera, every phone, every blog was locked on them, waiting to see who would blink first. By the end of day 3, the quiet tension around the Kirk and Kendra scandal had transformed into a storm that everyone in the love and hip-hop world could feel. What made this situation hit so hard wasn't just the betrayal itself, but who it came from and how public it had become. Kirk Frost wasn't new to scandal. If anything, he was infamous for it, but dragging Kendra Robinson and young Kirk into the crossfire made this different. This wasn't just another messy headline. This was two marriages hanging on by threads and one man's reputation sinking even lower. Kirk had finally broken his silence in the only way reality stars seem to know how, through a carefully worded Instagram story. Black background, white text. "Loyalty don't mean the same to everybody," he wrote. Just one sentence, but the weight behind it was heavy. Fans instantly screenshot it, reposted it, and within minutes it was trending. Everyone knew who that message was aimed at. Kirk Frost. Kirk didn't tag him. He didn't have to. The internet did it for him. And if Kirk's subtle statement was the match, Kendra was the gasoline. Subtle statement was the match. Kendra was the gasoline.